Good morning, future Paul and the other 54 viewers. Today I'm just continuing my prep work to refit the head on the engine. I've got it set up here. As you can see, she's not in bad nick. Everything I've not touched this. I've not rebuilt it in any way. Just cleaned it up. So I'll put some of this gunk shit on and then leave it. Pop down tomorrow, scrub it off, and then I just need to find where my head bolts are, and then I'll be ready to bolt it down. This one isn't so bad if you leave it for a few days. There's another kind, a foaming kind, that it works really well, but if you leave it for a couple of days, it dries and hardens into a crust, and it makes it harder to remove. Look at that beauty, eh? Perfect condition. This degreaser will soak into this rust. I'll bring the wire, scrub it down tomorrow, put another layer of this gunk stuff on, and then scrub it off. And it should be good as new. Just need to turn this over and do the other side. As you can see, this side isn't in too bad condition either. So I'll give this a liberal coating of the degreaser, and then I'll leave it for 24 hours. Come back and sort it out. But I mean, this engine part is over 50 years old, so it's in remarkably good condition if you consider its age. Now, any of you, I don't know if this should be sticking out or not, so if anybody knows, let me know. The head looks fine, doesn't need any work, and I really don't want to have to take it apart because it's just going to prolong this job even more, and I don't think it's necessary. I've greased it, I've cleaned it before, and it's been sitting there for a year, so I'm getting it out today, putting some degreaser on it, letting that soak in, come down tomorrow and put more degreaser on, get it all off, and should be ready to go. So I'm applying some of this gunk to the engine block as well. It's been sitting here for a few weeks, and it's the face on the top's fine, but and the new pistons are all fine, and the liners look alright, so I'll just put a bit of this on. But again, it's not in that bad condition. I mean, it still needs to be painted on the outside, but the surfaces are pretty much alright. They just need a bit of a clean up. So I've cleaned them before, but like I said, it's been sitting for a while, so it's gathered some rust and what have you, but that's not a problem. So here we have it. I've got the crane set up, I've got the head ready to go, got it tucked back in away from the elements. As you can see, I've had to be creative with the crane, and it is it's a maximum extension, but it can still manage half a ton at that extension, so it should be fine. I've had to flip the base upside down so the wheels don't run around, and those two weights on the back, those big rusty hunks of steel, are part of my ballast, so they should hold the crane in place. So that's me done for the day. I've prepped the head for next time I come down tomorrow, the day after, and get that going. I'm quite keen to finish this project. I went to an uncle's funeral yesterday, my uncle Billy, and I mean, he was only 66, which is 22 years older than me, nearly 21 years, because I'm 45 in next month. But and then it was a really uplifting service, actually, because it's quite positive and personal, and it was a really nice crematorium, because the one in Sunderland is fucking horrible, but his service was held at the one in Durham, and it was a really beautiful place. And anyway, it was I didn't really see a lot of my Uncle Billy after I got into my 30s and 40s, but he was a a large part of my childhood, and he was a really good man, and he'll be missed. But his funeral had a lot of positive elements talking about what he'd achieved in his life, and it sort of focused my mind a little bit, thinking, you know, my chronic illness and disability I have isn't necessarily life limiting, but people with my sort of array of chronic illnesses tend not to live as long as others. So I'm looking at about 25 years, I think, of useful physical, not even 25, 20 years of sort of life where I can physically get around like I am now, if I take my time and I do it properly. And 20 years, it isn't a long time. Me and my wife have been together 22 years now, just flown by. So I want to use that last 20 years. I'm not saying I'm dying in 20 years, but I think within 20 years my body is going to be fucked. So any life I have after that is going to be severely limited mobility wise. Actually, I've probably been generous with the 20, but let's not be pessimistic. So yeah, it's given me the impetus to get this project done so I can actually start using this boat as it was meant to be, as a coastal cruiser, so I can go down the coast of the UK and across to France and possibly down into the Mediterranean, and just sort of actually use the boat as a boat. So yeah, so positives to take away from it are: life is short, use it wisely, and don't get cremated at Sunderland Crematorium. Good afternoon, peeps. I'm back down on the boat. As you can see, I'm hard at work. I wanted to come down and continue working on assembling the engine, but it's been a busy week for me and I've had no spare time or energy. I've managed to come down today, all raring to go, but typically I'm too tired, not got the energy to do anything. So I've got my hammock out. I'm gonna have a nap if I can, see if that recharges my batteries. But if not, I'll just head off home and just some bits and bobs of work there. But I kind of predict when I'm going to have energy and when I'm not. So it is what it is. Anyway, things could be worse. I mean, here I am, sitting in my hammock on a lovely sunny day in this nice little marina, no care in the world, so it's not all bad, is it? Anyway, if I get around to actually doing any work today, I'll video it, but probably not. But the problem is, I've made a video. I've started making a video, and I've got about 7 or 8 minutes of footage, but I haven't got anything done yet. So I don't know if it's worth like waiting until I've achieved like putting the head back on, or just like serialize it and put on like the 10 minutes I've done. But I'll see, because it might be a question of putting waiting a month to put a video out, or putting 4 short videos out over the period of a month. So, and you know, it might not be that interesting to you, but mostly these videos are a diary for me, so I don't suppose it matters if there's anything gets achieved. So yeah, might as well do that. I'll have a think on it. Hello, I'm awake. I've had a bit of a kip and I feel a lot better. So I just wanted to show you quickly what I was up to. You saw the other day I put the that oil on, but what I've also got is this stuff, which is engine cleaner degreaser. So what I'm going to do is, it came with a pump, I'm going to give this a good soak, just like I did with the degreasing spray before. But because I really wanted to come down the day after I put that on, but as I said before, I've not been able to get down here, so it's dried up a bit. And but I think if I put this degreaser on, come down in a couple of days, it'll be easier to finish cleaning it. And as soon as that's done, I'll be putting it on the engine. So I think what I'll do today is I'm gonna hang it off the crane, and I'm going to clean it, and I'm going to clean the engine, and then next time I come down I'm going to drop it into place. So it's the plan anyway. An added bonus is it comes with this nifty little dispenser, plus it smells like oranges, which is nice, and I think it should do a canny job of cleaning this whole thing up. So give this a try. So I've given it a decent coat. I'm going to wrap it up and come down with some wire wool and these cloths and get it nice and shiny. Should be like new when I'm finished with it. As you can see, it's pretty clean. I'm going to let this stuff settle.
Many months later.
Hello everybody, I'm back down on the boat. It's been about a week since my the last part of the video you would have seen. I had hoped to get down here a lot sooner, but you know, sometimes life gets in the way. I managed to get down here today. I've been in bed for most of the week and I've been using my wheelchair a lot. I managed to walk down to the boat with my stick, which is good. I'm only down here for an hour, so I'm not going to do any major work with the head or anything. I might have a little go. I've got I snapped off a bolt when I was taking off the engine, taking it apart. I'm going to try and get that out of the engine today, and then we've got a quiet week at work next week, so hopefully I can get down here and get the head on, which isn't that big a job really. I mean, it's just a question of putting a gasket on, lowering the head on, and then tightening up all the bolts in the correct sequence to the correct torque, which is only a couple of hours work. So I'm hoping to get that done in the next sort of 4 or 5 days. Don't need to uncover the whole engine. In the last video I put some engine cleaner on, and I really should have come down the next day to clean it off, but as you can see it's lifted the rust up, but it's left things in a right state, so I hope there's no permanent damage. So instead of, this is the bolt I was going to get out today, but I'm going to have to try and clean this crap off before it does any permanent damage. Okay, let's just imagine no time has passed. I haven't really had a nightmare 24 hours, so I nearly ruined the engine, so don't think that for a second. A little better. Could probably do without getting shards of metal in the cylinders now. If I can eat it that I am. my leg falling off. I'm going to try it with a smaller drill head now. Just me. Just sound like a cat. Right. Don't know if you can see. I've got this nice hole there. So I've got it in. I'm going to give it a bit of a tap to get that in. And then I've got my tiny little wrench, which is a number 8, and then I'm gonna turn on that anti-clockwise. I don't know if it's moving or not. Trying to get a better angle for the camera. Let me see. Right. No, wrong way. So, got a hole drilled in. Got the doodad in. I'm going to slowly try and turn it. Well, that didn't go exactly as planned. Snapped a bit off. Oh well. Back to the drawing board. Well, managed to get most of that gunk off and got this looking halfway presentable again. It's not perfect, and it needs some more cleaning and any foreign material removed from inside the sleeves. The problem I'm having is now with this, since you can see right in the middle is the extraction tool, and I haven't got a drill hard enough to drill that out, so I'm having a right nightmare. But at least there's no long-lasting damage to the engine, so I'm pleased about that. Right, so I'm done for the day. I managed to clean up the engine block and getting it looking the way it was before. I had a bit of a panic after I uncovered it and it looked like it had been at the bottom of the sea for 100 years. It's my own fault for not taking off the for spraying it with engine cleaner. I should have wiped it off that day and sort of put some WD-40 on, but because of my limitations I didn't come down for a week, and that's how we ended up with all that rust, which caused me a bit of a panic. Anyway, that's sorted, and I'm still having trouble with the that sheared off bolt. I've sheared off the removal bolt, so I can't drill that out because it's too hard. So I'm trying to tackle it, and once that's done, then I can put the head on. This whole build is characterised by sort of bottlenecks caused by seemingly little things that bring everything to a halt. I remember I couldn't there was one bolt on the timing wheel. I couldn't get it off for about 4 months before, and I bought a puller for it, and that didn't work, and it took forever. And then one day it just popped off, and this whole sort of rebuild's been characterised by sort of my ineptitude running up against these bottlenecks. Hopefully, once I get this bolt extraction tool extracted, I can extract the bolt that it sheared off inside, and then once the sheared off bolt is removed, I can put the head on. Fingers crossed.